So, in this topic, we are going to talk about categories for annual reviews. So, this topic will be the part one, and then some of the points will be included in the next topic, part two. Now, let's move into a very practical part of the annual review process. What exactly are we reviewing? Because if we are going to give fair and helpful feedback, we need to know what categories to focus on. That's where this module comes in. In this section, we are going to break down some of the most important categories or criteria you can include in your annual review. And no, it's not just about whether someone met their deadlines. It goes deeper than that. We will start with the big picture, company mission and values. Why? Because performance is not just what you do, it's also how you do it. Are your employees aligned with your company's purpose, culture, and standards? That's where it all begins, right? Next, we will look at customer service, quality control, and problem solving. These are critical for day-to-day performance. How well are our employees handling customer needs? Are they ensuring product or service quality? Can they solve problems without constant supervision? These are the skills that keep the wheels turning. And finally, we will talk about production and output, the measurable part. Are goals being met? Are expectations being exceeded? This is where we bring everything together to get a full picture of performance. Let's dive in and explore how to select the right categories to build a review that's balanced, meaningful, and aligned with what your organization truly values. And as usual, I would like to start with the quote. This quote is said by Thomas Jefferson. He once said that far and away the best price that lives offered is the chance to work hard at work worth doing. And honestly, that is very true for me. We often talk about rewards in terms of titles, salaries, recognition. But if the real reward is the work itself, right? The chance to pour your energy, your time, your heart into something that actually matters. That is the price. Work worth doing isn't always easy. In fact, it usually isn't. But it's the kind of work that gives you a sense of purpose. It challenges you, it grows you, and at the end of the day, it leaves you with a feeling that made a difference. So, whether you are leading a team, serving customers, solving problems, or building something new, ask yourself, is this work worth doing? If the answer is yes, then show up, work hard, because that effort, that's not just a task, it's a privilege. Let's start with something that often gets printed on a wall, but needs to be lived in the workplace. Your company's mission and values. Every company has them. They didn't just appear out of thin air. Someone took the time to think about what the company stands for what it believes in, and what it wants to achieve. So if the mission and values are that important, why wouldn't we include them in our annual reviews? Here's why. When we tie performance to the mission and values, we are making sure that everyone is not just hitting goals, but doing it the right way. It helps align the individual with the bigger picture. It says, yes, we care about results, but we also care about how we get those results. So let's break it down. A mission is a short statement that explains the company's overall goal, its purpose, is the why behind what we do. And values, they are the behaviors and principles that guide how we work, how we treat each other, and how we serve our customers. For example, a company might value things like integrity, doing the right thing even no one's watching, or accountability, which means owning our actions, or respect, that means treating people well regardless of position, or creativity, compassion, honesty, on and on. The list may goes on. So when we review an employee, we don't just look at what they did. We consider how their behavior reflects these core values. It makes the review richer, more meaningful, and more connected to the culture we are trying to build. Because at the end of the day, performance is not just about output, it's about alignment. And alignment starts with the mission and values. Now, let's talk about two areas that can make or break company's reputation: customer service and quality control. If there's ever a time to pay attention to how your employees are performing in these two areas, it's during the annual review. First, customer service is more than just being polite. It's about how your team represents the company in every interaction with your customers. Whether it's answering a question, handling a complaint, or guiding someone through a process, customer service is your front line, and the people delivering that experience need the right skills. So what are those skills? Maybe things like being attentive, which means really listening to the customer, or showing patience, which means especially when things get tense, or communicating clearly and kindly, or knowing the product or service inside out. Respecting deadlines and time frames, and of course being flexible when an unexpected situation come up. So these are the things that we may need to consider to put in our annual reviews. So let's talk about quality control. This is about consistency, accuracy, and making sure your customers get the best possible experience every time. Quality control does not just belong in factory or the kitchen. It belongs everywhere in a company. Think about it. A fast food manager checks food temperature. A computer company tests every 20th microchip. A robot analyst proofreads before submission, a shipping team verifies an order before sending it out, a pharmacy tech double checks a patient's name before handing over medication. So these are not just tasks, they are moments of trust. So when you are doing your reviews, ask yourself, is this person upholding our quality standards? Are they creating a reliable, positive experience for our customers? Because if our customer service builds relationship, quality control protects them. And ask, and that's why both deserve a spot in our annual reviews criteria, because together they defined your brand. Next, let's talk about one of the most valuable qualities an employee can bring to the table, problem solving and good judgment. These are not just nice to have skills, they are critical. And when you recognize and develop them, your entire company benefits. Employees who show strong judgment does not just react to problems, they anticipate them. They spot red flags early, think things through, and often come up with solutions before an issue ever reaches your desk. That kind of foresight, that's gold, you know. Problem solving is about more than just fixing what's broken. It's about thinking clearly under pressure, weighing options, and choosing the best course of action. Sure, you as a supervisor need these skills, but don't forget your frontline employees often have the closest view of what's really happening. Their insight can prevent mistakes, save time, improve service, and even spark innovation. That's why adding problem solving and judgment as a category in your annual review is not just smart, it's strategic. It tells your team, we don't just value what you do, we value how you think about what you do. And that mindset shift, it builds future leaders. So next time you are reviewing performance, ask, is this person a problem identifier or a problem solver? Do they rely on instructions, or do they apply good judgment when faced with uncertainty? Because those qualities are what turn good employees into great ones. Next, we want to talk about a category that hits at the heart of performance: protection. This is one you absolutely want to include in your annual employee reviews, because no matter what the role is, protection tells you whether the work is getting done and how well it's being done. Now, protection is not just about speed. It builds on three components: accuracy, thoroughness, and effectiveness. First, let's talk about accuracy. Mistakes can be costly, sometimes more than we realize. Imagine an accountant typing the wrong number into a budget. It might seem small, but it could lead to major financial misjudgments. Accuracy matters because it builds trust, reduces rework, and protects company from risks. The next is thoroughness. This means taking the time to double check, to complete the full tasks, or not just bare minimum. Think of a mechanic putting your car back together. You wouldn't want to drive off with a few mystery parts left over, right? The roughness protects quality and ensure the job is complete. And then there's effectiveness, doing the right job in the right way within the right time frame. It's not just about being busy. It's about being productive and delivering results that meet expectations. Whether your employee is producing reports, building merchandises, or processing data, effectiveness measures the impact of their work. So when it comes times for the annual review, don't just look at what was done, look at how accurately it was completed, how thoroughly it was handled, and how effectively it contributed to the team or company success. Because production is not just a number, it's a reflection of professionalism, care, and capability. So, at the end of what we have just said, let me share a story about two top performers, Katrina and Lillian. At the dust of cleaning company, from the outside, they may look like any other employees. But what sets them apart is how deeply they live out the company's core values: compassion, patience, and honesty. They don't just clean, they care, you know. They are known for giving exceptional customer service. And they never cut corners. Their work is always thorough, and despite working quickly, they never compromise qualities. That's the kind of balance most companies dream of, right? But it does not stop there. When a challenge comes up, they don't wait for a manager to solve it. They jump into action with a reasonable, thoughtful solution. They think critically, act with integrity, and genuinely enjoy their jobs, which shows in everything they do. And guess what? That consistency is reflected in their annual reviews. They are not just liked, they are recognized. High performance, strong values, great attitudes. It all adds up. So after you listened this story of Katrina and Lillian, I have two questions for you to discuss or think. First question is, what makes Katrina and Lillian valuable beyond just doing their task well? So this is the first question. Second question, how do annual reviews support and reinforce the behavior seen in Katrina and Lillian? So these are the two questions I want you to think of. Take a few moments. You may want to write down your answers of my questions. If you have done, I also want to share my point of view for the first question. What makes Katrina and Lillian valuable beyond just doing their task well? For me, they embody company's values, which is compassion, patience, honesty. That contributes to a strong culture. This is the first point. Second, they provide excellent customer service, building loyalty and satisfaction. This is the second point. And third, they show initiatives and problem-solving skills, which lightens the load of managers. And then finally, they maintain high-quality standards while being productive, making them efficient and reliable. So these are the reasons that makes Katrina and Lillian valuable beyond just doing their task well. So these are my answers for the first question. Second question, how do annual reviews support and reinforce the behavior seen in Katrina and Lillian? For me, I think annual reviews recognize and reward high performance, which boosts morale. They reinforce company values by tying performance to behavior, not just output. And reviews give a platform to provide positive feedback, which encourage continued excellence. They also help create a sense of purpose and alignment, which likely contribute to Katrina and Lillian enjoying their work. So these are my answer. How about your answer?